This video will show you how to get really thick milk kefir like this. I'm going to dive into the instructions assuming you've already been making kefir and know how. So if you don't know how, watch my milk kefir masterclass video first. But for those of you ready to roll, let's get to it. Allow the kefir to over-ferment. Over-fermentation does not mean spoilage. Rather, over-fermentation means that when the good yeast and bacteria responsible for the kefir making begin to run out of the natural sugars within the milk to feed on, the curds in the whey begin to separate and look like this. For super thick Greek yogurt consistency, you'll need to allow the kefir to reach this stage of separation. When ready, place a fine mesh strainer over a bowl. Use a broad spatula to drain off most of the whey. The strainer is handy to catch any possible milk solids or kefir grains that may escape out of the jar with the whey. Now, don't be surprised if the first time you do this it's a little sloppy or maybe even a complete botch. Simply try again with the next batch and before you know it, you'll be a pro. And you know, I've actually seen some people get really creative on YouTube with methods they come up with for draining the whey, such as siphon systems. But the spatula method is a great place to start, and this is my preferred method since I don't make huge kefir batches. Strain the best you can, and what should remain in the jar will be the milk solids along with the intermingled kefir grains. Pour the whey into a separate jar, but don't throw it away. Whey is also called liquid gold because of its outstanding health properties that I'll share with you later in this video, so be sure to stick around. Trust me, you'll be blown away. Next, pour the milk solids into the strainer. Give it a moment to allow additional whey to drain. And then give it a little jiggle as well to encourage that little bit of remaining whey to come through. No problem if there's still a little left. Pour that extra bit into the whey jar as well. Now we're ready to push the milk solids around with the spatula to work them through and leave behind the grains. If you've been making kefir, then you know this step like the back of your hand. We've got just the grains remaining now, so as usual, transfer them to a separate jar and add the milk, and you know the drill from here on out to make more kefir. But back to this kefir we've got in the bowl. Give it a mix and transfer it into another dish. So far it will have this consistency, but the continuing thickening magic is yet to happen. Cover and place in the refrigerator overnight. Here it is the next day. Let's take a look at how it thickened. Compared to the kefir yesterday, this is great improvement. If you want it even thicker, keep it in the fridge for an additional 3 days. Here it is after 3 days in the fridge. Let's compare 12 hours in the fridge to 3 days in the fridge. It has thickened even more to where it sticks to the spoon. Now, don't exit out because I still need to share with you why not to pour the liquid whey down the drain and what to do with it. Milk is made of 2 proteins, casein and whey. The casein forms the curds and the whey forms the liquid. Both are quality proteins, which is why it's a tragedy when people pour the whey down the drain not realizing what a health-dense acid the whey is. And when whey is fermented, like with kefir and yogurts, the health properties skyrocket. Here are some of the top health benefits of whey. And P.S. The information I'm about to share with you is based on multiple studies to which I provide the links in the video description if you're interested. The whey is loaded with billions of the same probiotics as the milk solids you kept to make the thick kefir. And as we all know, probiotics create a strong microbiome in our gut, building up our digestive system into health. Probiotic fermented whey provides gut immune protection by inhibiting the secretions of inflammatory markers and could be a potential prophylactic in the prevention of gut disorders, including colitis. Liquid whey includes properties that are antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-hypertensive, and anti-obesity. In another study, whey protein was shown to improve the immune response compared to amino acids supplementation, which indicates that the whey protein as a whole can offer more health benefits than isolated amino acid supplication. Increased whey protein consumption may increase the immune response against antigen exposure and decrease the incidence of disease. Milk whey contains several unique components like these compounds that possess important antimicrobial and antiviral properties. This whey component has anti-cancer properties, and the whey component called immunoglobulin G binds with bacterial toxins and lowers the bacterial load in the large bowel, thus having the potential to inhibit colon cancer. Fermented whey was shown to improve liver health by lowering ALT, AST, TG, and MDA levels, and increased SOD, GSH, and GPX activity, thereby decreasing liver damage, and the study concluded that fermented liquid whey can protect the liver from alcohol-induced damage. A study was done on 48 males regarding the effects of consuming fermented whey protein twice a day compared to consuming non-fermented whey protein supplementation. The results imply that fermented whey protein is an effective protein supplement for enhancing muscle health in males performing regular resistance exercises. And my added 2 cents is, why wouldn't it also work for women performing regular resistance exercises? I believe it would. The health benefits can go on, but to keep this video short, I'll wrap it up with a few suggestions on how to incorporate the liquid whey from your kefir, making it into your daily foods. Due to the lemony tart flavor of fermented whey, it makes for a great lemon substitution. For instance, when making a homemade salad dressing, add the whey in place of the lemon, or add a spoonful to your glass of water. If you're going to the gym, add some whey to your workout water bottle for electrolytes. Soaking your oats overnight? Ferment the oats too by replacing the regular water with the liquid whey instead. Making my fermented hummus or fermented cooked beans recipe? Use fermented liquid whey as the starter culture. Give a vegetable fermentation a bump up by adding a tablespoon or 2 of the fermented whey to the jar. Add a couple spoonfuls of the fermented whey to smoothies or fresh juices. You can feed it to your pets so they can be healthy too, and you can add it to your garden compost for supercharged soil. And when not in use, keep it stored in the refrigerator with a tight lid where it will last for 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you for making thick kefir with me today, and join me for more fermenting adventures. Click here to view my fermentation recipe playlist, such as making homemade probiotic-dense sauerkraut, fermented pickles, which are not the same as vinegar pickles, homemade apple cider vinegar, and so much more. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.